The night left a feeling of anxiety behind. I woke up exhausted, both physically and mentally. It happens to me all the time. You see incredibly lucid images in your dreams, as if you fell into a Hollywood blockbuster with a plot full of twists, well-paid actors, and multi-million-dollar visual effects, and then you wake up in the morning without remembering a thing. That's what I was trying to do. To restore the images shown by my relaxed brain, but that part of my memory was empty, either archived or formatted completely. What a fucking nerd. It's 7 a.m. according to the clock. I seem to be an early bird today. Olga was still sleeping, wrapped tightly in her blanket. Obviously, right here. Wrapped tightly? In a hot summer? I got up, stretched, and went to the mirror to have a look at myself. I'd better shave. Strange idea. Before twice a month was enough, and now nothing depends on the way I look. I haven't found a razor anyway. Why do I even need it if I look like I'm 17 at most? So breakfast can't start earlier than 9 a.m., and this means I have plenty of time, which I can spend walking and washing, for example. The water didn't seem as ice cold as the previous day. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me to brace up, whatever that means, and come back to reality, whether all these events could really be called real. The tooth powder didn't seem to be such an outdated thing. Okay. A quick thought struck me that it's not that different from toothpaste. Sure, I guess. When I returned in the cabin, Olga was already up. She was standing in front of the mirror and fixing her hair. Good morning, Semyon. Good morning, Semyon. Morning. Because of a lack of sleep, my head was still singing, and my thoughts were all jumbled together. However, I didn't regret waking up instead of my usual habit of sleeping in for 2 or 3 hours more. How come you're up so early? It just happened. And no neckerchief, once again, let me. I'll do it myself, not a big deal. On my way to the canteen. I don't think so, do it now. Did you forget about the lineup before breakfast? How could I ever forget? And what's the lineup going to be about today? We'll discuss the agenda for the day. So what's the agenda? Frankly speaking, I didn't care for what might be on the agenda for our courageous pioneer troop. I was mostly interested in where our brave leader will send our little pioneer army for the following 12 to 15 hours. Maybe I can manage to avoid enemy locations. I don't know what most of that means. You'll find that out at lineup. She gave me a wily smile. Olga, you know, my stomach is getting upset. I'd rather, well, you know. I believe that it's okay to miss the lineup once. It could get all nasty if I failed to control it right there. Go and poop myself. Where did all this courage come from? You have 5 more minutes. I'm afraid I need more time. Could you tell me right now, please? Sure, I'll try, but just in case it all goes down. Oh, fine. On our list for today is cleaning the camp locations, organizing the books in the library, some other minor tasks, and of course, we have a ball in the evening. We have a ball! Watch yourself. You must take part in camp activities today. You bet. Definitely, and now I'd rather... Come on, let's hit the road. Fuck you, road. Pew, pew. That was a lame joke, I'm sorry. I came out of the cabin and hid in the bushes behind it, waiting for Olga to leave. I actually didn't have any particular reason to behave this way, and the voice within me kept telling me that I have nothing to do with the lineup. Ellipses. After the camp leader left, I went back into the cabin and decided to wait for breakfast there. Well, I'm not planning on taking part in community life today. Cleaning and organizing, that's not what someone in my situation should be doing. 2 days have passed, and I'm still right where I started. All the residents seem to be perfectly ordinary people. They weren't involved in any conspiracy, weren't communicating with aliens, and have no idea about the time warps. Of course, each of them is a bit peculiar, but those peculiarities do not seem out of line at all. Moreover, if I had met any of these pioneers in my familiar world, I wouldn't have suspected anything. They seem to be even more normal and natural than, let's say, yours truly. That's freaking true. This line of reasoning was quite logical, and the illogical part was the absence of answers. Ordinary people in an extraordinary place. I've heard and seen that already somewhere. Dozens of pioneers, or even more, live their family lives and do their regular stuff day by day. They don't understand that the world around them is not what it looks like. Okay. But this is their point of view. As for me, I'm not acquainted with the world of the Sovinok camp and its residents, even if they seem to behave the way normal people would under the same circumstances. I have to decide here and now, are those people involved in what's happening to me? Can they give me any answers? Or do I have to seek the truth somewhere else? Ellipses. Seems I overdid a bit with the thinking. There's no usual crowd of hungry pioneers near the canteen. Or even inside the canteen. Most of them probably had their breakfast before 9 a.m. That's even better. 2's company, 3's a crowd. Lena was sitting in the farthest corner of the canteen, lazily picking with her fork at an amorphous lump that vaguely resembled porridge. Having a breakfast with her seems like a good idea. We can have a chat in peace. Or at least try to have one. I was on the way to her table when suddenly somebody grabbed me by the sleeve. Xenia, the librarian.
Get your meal and come. We need to talk.
Ellipses.
What are you waiting for?
I was a bit confused. Pardon, isn't this a bit too sudden?
Huh?
What's wrong?
Get your meal and sit down.
I suppose that she considered her behavior completely normal. Sorry, but I promised Lenya. Fine, I'll wait a minute. Fine, wait a minute. Fine, wait a minute. I haven't talked to this chick much, so let's talk to her. I'm not sure why, but I accepted the invitation. What if I can learn something new? She is such a bookworm. A minute later, I was sitting in front of Xenia with the tray and the simple meal on it. Porridge, 2 eggs, 4 pieces of white bread, and a sausage, and a glass of compote. Bon appetit.
Thanks.
I decided to act as politely as I could and also eat more neatly, without chomping and spilling crumbs of food or drops of compote. So what do you want to talk about?
Today at the library.
I wasn't listening from this point onwards. I immediately recalled Olga's words about the scheduled events for today.
Don't forget.
Oh, what?
I said don't forget to visit the library after lunch.
What for?
Were you even listening?
Can't you see my eye as a mirror? That means I'm very serious. Nope. Nope, I wasn't fucking listening. I admit it, honestly. Xenia's face turned red, then appeared green, then took on a soft purple color. Isn't that right?
Today after lunch, you in the library. Got it, dunce?
Dunce? What kind of curse is that? Though a pioneer must never use a curse word. How could I forget that rule? Oh yeah, sure, I apologize. Of course I'll be there. Actually, I wasn't really planning to go anywhere, but if you want to make someone speak, you need to sacrifice a bit first. By the way, what year is it now? I totally lost count. Totally normal thing to ask. What year is it right now? You know, just lost count. I decided to play fair. She looked at me perplexed and answered.
Have you gone completely bananas?
Honestly, that's how I felt for the last few days. Xenia didn't reply. So what year is it? I smiled kindly.
Listen, why don't you visit the infirmary?
Will they tell me what year it is there?
Oh, certainly, and even more.
Xenia stood up and headed to the exit. Wait, you didn't finish your meal. But it looks like she won't turn back. I was finished chewing on sausage which tasted like twisted pair of cables. Ooh. I wonder if they have internet access here. Of course not. I guess not. A pioneer sitting at the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved to him in return. After such a friendly greeting, he, for some reason, left the canteen quickly without finishing his breakfast. Done with the food, it's time to search for some clues. Some time later, I finally came to the infirmary. I have nothing to do in that place, though the nurse seemed quite caring. Yeah, she did. It's better to keep a distance from her. Such benevolence is actually scary. She may know something, but I just hadn't the courage to enter the infirmary. Moreover, I had no reason to. Not a single one. I'm immersed in my own thoughts. I didn't notice the nurse who was standing on the porch. Hi there, Pioneer. She came closer. You must be sick. So sick. Did you come for medicine? No, I was just wandering around. Oh, a Trant, I see. But if you're here, I have a serious task for you. I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy. It sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully. You both will help to make an inventory of supplied medicine, which arrived today. Both? Who are we? Perhaps I misheard. But what would be confused with both? Hi. Lenya emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange that I hadn't noticed her until now. Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lenya. She'll tell you what to do. Medicine, huh? Supplied today? But Olga told me that no buses would arrive in the next couple of days. So there were visitors to our camp today? Yes, they arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking? Just curious. Alright then, Pioneer. So tonight after dinner, you'll be here? Maybe Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja. I could do it on my own. No way. There are a lot of boxes. And a pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, Pioneer? She gazed at me, smiling menacingly. I don't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and also I've got more important things to do. But rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing here, I would definitely think my way out. Okay, I'll come. You know Olga asked me to help her tonight. I'll come. What, yeah. I mean, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I supposed to find answers? The best way to find answers is to hang out with people. Nice. That's how a true pioneer should answer. Even after these words, I barely came a step closer to the be prepared, always prepared motto. Then you can go. I looked at Lena, who was still staring at the ground. I guess all that time she spent staring at the ground was enough to learn everything there is to know about life and the habits of different insects. Plus, Lena likes to read, so she probably read many biological, botanical, and so on books. Botanical. Is that how you say that word? I don't know. Perhaps she wants to become an etymologist. Or she just, I mean, you're because she looks at the ground a lot, you're gonna make it this assumption about her entire life. Ellipses. Where will you head next? That's the wrong voice. Lena's words drew me away from the obscure thoughts. We'd been standing at the square for some time, and my speculations about Bug's lives were only an attempt to escape this awkward situation. Though, why did it seem awkward? Just don't forget, alright? Don't forget what? Well, tonight, after dinner, at the infirmary. Her face got slightly grumpy. Looked to it. No way, that's impossible. Alright, right after dinner I'm at your service. I thought too late. At my words, Lena blushed even harder. I need to find a way to ease the situation. Why did the nurse ask you to do it? I don't know. I was just sitting on the bench reading a book when she came in. It's smart to ask a reliable person who would never say no. Okay, well then after dinner... Okay, I'll be off then. Yes, sure. She walked off somewhere beside the clubs and just stood on the square for some time. So what's next? I decided to visit my cabin in order to collect my phone. I don't know where I'll find myself today, but having a watch is always useful. My phone? Do I have a smartphone? Though having a wristwatch is much easier, I guess I do. Suddenly I heard a different tune which was cutting through the usual noise of the camp. I listened to it carefully. Sounds like an electric guitar. 3 repeating chords, no more. But this melody still felt somehow warm, as if a vacuum tube-based audio amplifier was used. What? This guy has the strangest set of knowledge. Could there be such a luxury here? The sound was definitely coming from somewhere near the stage area. I wonder who that could be. Should I go take a look? Who cares? I better keep on looking for answers. I should go take a look. I like me some electric guitar. Coming to the stage area, I caught sight of Alyssa on stage. Of course. The girl was giving her all and her eyes were closed. She placed... Of course, this is the viewing angle we have. She placed one of her legs upon the speaker and was swaying her body with the rhythm of the music. I couldn't recognize that melody, but I was pretty sure that I'd heard it before. Probably somewhere from Soviet rock. My favorite genre of rock. I could have named a dozen bands in this genre right off the bat, but I was hardly an expert. The song seemed really simple, literally just 3 chord progression. Probably even I could have played it, given some time to practice. I wonder where Alyssa got her playing skills. In the USSR, such music had never been nationally acclaimed. The future rock star wasn't taking any notice of me. It was like she was trying to become one with the music, to resound in every note, in every bar, in every triplet. Rock heroes of the 80s instantly came to my mind. Many of them were devoted in the music in this similar way. If she got dressed in something more suitable for that period fashion instead of her pioneer uniform, nobody would have noticed the difference. Her performance was coming to an end. Picking out a last couple of chords, Alyssa finally noticed me. Did you like it? She doesn't seem as surprised as I would have expected. Yeah, that was cool. As if you could do any better. I didn't imply that I could. I said it was cool. Smiled Alyssa slyly. I'm not saying that I could do better. I'm not a pro in music. No doubt. Yep. I didn't know what to tell her next and was heading on my way. Wait a minute. What? Heard about the evening dance party? I thought it was a ball. Ball, dance party, what's the difference? Good question. She frowned. Yes, I did, and so what? Are you gonna go? After throwing those words, she turned away. I'm not sure. And you? What am I going to do there? Watch a herd of morons? There was some truth in Alyssa's words, but this open disrespect surprised me. It's clear that it's not the idea of the ball that she hates. But why? What do you mean, but why? By why? Well, why don't you want to come? Dance parties ought to be fun. Do you really think so? Annoyance flashed in her voice. I don't know, but I thought you would. You never liked them, she interrupted me. There's absolutely nothing to do at such parties. I see. So what's your plan then? I asked just to keep the conversation going. I'll just carry on practicing. What are you practicing? The song, dumbass. You even heard it. Alyssa had gone totally mad. A few more wrong answers and I will have to run for my life. Who wrote the song? I did. So you wrote it by yourself? By myself. Cool. An awkward silence hung in the air. Okay then. Don't you want to listen? Didn't I just hear it? That's not what I meant. She pouted. The whole song. It's just a jam for now. Come on, do it then. Not right now. Well, don't do it then. I felt uncertain about what she wanted from me. You mean you don't want me to play? What the heck is wrong with this girl? Seems like I frustrated her. I got ready for her to smash her guitar on my forehead or something even worse. There was only an upset expression on Alyssa's face. I want to. I told you. Come here tonight then. I'll play it for you. For me? How cute. Tonight's the dance party. You said that you wouldn't go. I didn't say that. Frankly speaking, I didn't want to go, but messing around with Dava Chet was no good either. Olga won't like it. Screw her, said Alyssa, getting steamed up. I don't want to go, but she scares me also. No, I won't, sorry. All this really wasn't what I'd planned. Oh, screw off, not that I was really interested myself. She clucked her disapproval and turned away. I was just wondering if the decision I made was the right one when suddenly I was interrupted by ringing, calling the pioneers for lunch. I looked toward the canteen. Suppose it's time to go. Hunger is a sharp thorn. I turned around with an intent to call Alyssa to come along, but she looked so cheerless and down. Every musician should know when it's time to leave, I grumbled under my breath.